There's a psychological study where violent criminals rated videos of pedestrians from 1 to 10. From easy to victimize to I would avoid trying to victimize that person. What they did was try to figure out who these violent criminals would attack. And there was a couple things. I like this one. People that the perpetrators would look at and say, I probably wouldn't assault that person. They had something that they called organized quality. So the person just looks organized. If you look squared away, it's a real thing. Yeah. People sense that. The victims, the way most of the people that were identified as, oh, I would attack that person, they would say they had inconsistency in the way they walked. So how should we walk? How should we carry ourselves? Well, I started diving into this rabbit hole a little bit. NBC News had an article written by Steve Cardian, who was a police officer. He was in the Marine Corps. He was a detective. He was an FBI defensive tactics instructor. The crux of this article is that it takes a criminal about 7 seconds to decide whether you're a good victim or a bad victim.
I don't have a fucking ounce of sympathy for these people who sit here and say, well, I feel this way, so I can't. Then don't do it. Stay down there. The winners are at the top, and the winners at the top don't give a shit about how they feel. We wake up and we perform regardless of how we feel day after day. So if I'm going to ignore my own feelings, I'm certainly not going to take into consideration anybody else's.
Wait. Shit.
Jordan Peterson sends out a chilling warning in a recent interview. Are we in trouble? Just watch.
This is not on people's radar. It's like people have no idea. It's like, well, why not have a digital passport? I mean, you know, how convenient. It's like, fair enough, and you can understand that. Wouldn't it be nice if we could pay for everything with our phones? It's like, wouldn't it be nice if the central government, who's woke-oriented and makes carbon dioxide remediation the priority, knows exactly what you spend on everything so they can target you tax-wise with precision? It's like, oh, you can see these signs of this everywhere. You know, when you go through airports now, there's a lot of automated barriers. You show your passport. It's like, well, these are automated barriers. What if you can't go through them? Well, that's the situation for many people in China. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to argue with the machine? Like, you just cannot imagine how screwed you are.
I just want you to remember that average is the enemy, success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch.
When I was going from training, we had to carry these heavy-ass boats on our heads. We had 6 people carrying these boats. The heaviest part of the boat was in the front. So the weaker people would always look for the very back of the boat. The back of the boat is where the boat would barely be touching your head. We had a name for it. We call it duck and boat. A lot of people put their head down, crouch under it, so that boat wouldn't be breaking your fucking neck. A lot of people in life out here are riding the back of the boat. They're ducking that fucking weight. They're part of a team, but you're the weakest person in that team, and everybody knows you're ducking the boat. You don't want that boat to touch your head, you don't want to hurt your neck, but you want to be part of the team, but you don't want to do any fucking work. In life, it's important to not always draft. Sometimes you gotta lead and block the fucking win.
Get it! 19! Big son!
Yeah!
20, you got some more in you.
Shit!
21! Yeah, get it again! Come on, we want to see it! Good! 22!
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
That's you, buddy! Come on, 23! Come on, 24! One more, David!
Who's
one more
to carry the boats?
You're gonna do it! You're gonna do it! You're gonna do it! You did it! Yeah!
They've got us so divided at a lower level that we don't unite behind anything. So now they don't have to hide things. They used to have to hide their crimes, right? Now they're just like, we can't kill him, people will know. Who cares if they know? Just kill him. Okay, boom, boom. Everyone makes a few memes. End of story.
The Matrix has attacked me.
At some point there's going to be a third World War. And after World War III, who knows what's left after World War III. So there's arguably this this race between, do we become a multi-planet species or World War III? Which one is first? And if World War III is first, and maybe we never get to another planet. Shit.
1 year from today, you're going to look back at the previous 365 days and you're either going to say, thank God I spent my time doing that, or you're going to say, damn, I wish I spent my time doing that.
You obviously didn't know as a kid that you would be worth $10 million. Right?
I knew for a fact.
You knew for a fact.
I knew for a fact. There was never a doubt in my mind.
So you had full confidence from day one. Why?
It's just a gut feeling. The combination of like my drive, like certain traits that I have, I'm not the most intelligent person at all. I have very good emotional intelligence. I have very good self-awareness. But yeah, even when I was like 10 or 12 years old, I told my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna buy a Range Rover.
So let's take Robin Williams as an example. Famous, multi-millionaire, everyone loves him. How could he possibly kill himself? I'll tell you why. Because when he walked into the therapist's office and said, I feel depressed, the therapist said, okay, here's some mind-altering drugs. Start taking these. And then I need to see you 6 hours a day, every day, and we're going to talk about sad things for the next 10 years. He was in therapy for 10 years. Oh, damn. But if he would have walked into the therapist's office and the therapist said to him, you're Robin Williams. There are people in the world with no food. Yeah. There are families in Syria. There are school buses being bombed in Yemen. There are people who lost their entire family in a car crash today. You're Robin Williams and everyone you love is in perfect health. You're a selfish idiot. Get out of my office. Get some balls. Bam. He'd still be alive today.
Lazy people do a little work and feel like they should be winning. Winners work as hard as possible and still worry they're being lazy. Lazy people will work a little bit and go, oh bro, I just can't catch a break. People who are genuinely winners work all the time and still feel like they're not working hard enough. The universe is extremely giving. It certainly is not going to take somebody who works as hard as they can and tries their best and pays attention, is perfect patience and learns their information, is interacting with other high network people and other people who are working hard and not give them what they want. The universe will give you exactly what you want and you certainly deserve it.
Am I weak or not? Here's the test. So I want you to do 500 press-ups today. If you start with 500 and you quit halfway through, then you're weak. If you never start them, you're weak. If you lie, you're weak. There's only one path to strength. That's through achievement. You can only see the glory of the world at the top of the mountain. You gotta fucking climb that shit. If you're a mentally strong person, I challenge you right now to complete 500 push-ups before you go to sleep. No fucking excuses. You haven't got to prove it to me, because I don't give a fuck. You have to prove it to yourself.
After nearly a decade of dedicating my life's work to YouTube.com, they terminated all of my channels. For those of you that don't know, before I started live streaming 3 months ago, I amassed 1 million subscribers on my main channel called Sneeko, doing artistic, creative, funny videos with the motto of seeking truth through funny. Then when I started live streaming on my second channel, Sneeko, I quickly grew to 850,000 subscribers in a summer. They had to do something. Since the beginning of my streaming, the mantra I kept repeating to my chat was that freedom of speech is dead, and if they censor it, it's true. And since then, they got me for 3 strikes, and that's why they terminated everything, not just my second channel, but my main channel and any fan channel with my name in it. Not only that, but I'm gonna pursue legal action against Google for freezing 120,000 of my dollars because they terminated my account when they felt like it. Them banning me proves what I'm saying right. Freedom of speech is dead. Nobody cares about the truth anymore, and you can see why from my strikes.
The easiest way to be a high-value man is a man who's capable of violence. It doesn't matter if he's got muscles or he's big or he's tall, whatever. Women understand from a biological perspective, they like a man who can fight. It doesn't matter if your man had money, a Ferrari, everything, but if you knew for a fact if any dude stepped to him, he'd get sparked, you wouldn't want it. A true marker of a high-value man is a man who could say no to pussy. If you say, I don't want a high-value man who cheats, da-da-da. If you got a lower-value guy, he'll fuck anything. Period. He has no choice. If you get a high-value guy, at least he has the option to say no to something.